every single movement you make, every single thought you think, every single word you speak, every decision you execute, and every move you make, every physical effort you produce, every moment of genuine aliveness you experience. All of it runs on energy produced inside structures so small that a single one of your cells can contain thousands of them. These structures are your mitochondria, the source of life. And they are not simply the powerhouses of the cell. It goes deeper. The reductive description from a high school biology class that most people use, that most people never move beyond in their understanding. They are the most sophisticated biological energy production systems ever evolved on this planet. They are the difference between a man operating at his full physical and cognitive ceiling and a man who cannot understand why he is always tired, always slightly below his potential, always running on what feels like a fraction of the energy he should have. They are dynamic, they are responsive, they adapt continuously in real time to the biochemical environment of the body that contains them. And here is what the emerging science of mitochondrial biology, combined with what we know about the biochemistry of seminal fluid and the hormonal consequences of its retention, is beginning to reveal with increasing clarity and increasing specificity. The man who retains is creating a cellular energy environment that is measurably different from the man who depletes. Not in a vague, general sense, in specific, documentable, biochemically precise ways that reach all the way down to the inner membrane of the mitochondrion itself, to the electron transport chain, to ATP synthesis, to the fundamental machinery of cellular energy production that determines the ceiling of everything you are physically and cognitively capable of. Stay with me, because this is the deepest biological conversation we have had yet, and it starts at the very foundation of what makes you alive. Let us begin with mitochondrial biology, because to understand how retention affects mitochondrial function, you first need to understand what mitochondria actually do and what governs their performance. Mitochondria are double-membraned organelles present in virtually every cell of the human body, with the highest concentrations found in the tissues with the highest energy demands. Let us bring in the NAD+ connection, because this is the most recent and most exciting frontier in mitochondrial biology, and its relationship to the biochemistry of retention adds a dimension to this conversation that is genuinely cutting edge. NAD+, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a coenzyme present in every cell of the human body and absolutely essential to mitochondrial function. It is the primary electron carrier in oxidative phosphorylation, the molecule that shuttles electrons from the oxidation of glucose and fatty acids to the electron transport chain, driving ATP synthesis. Beyond its direct role in ATP production, NAD+ is the essential cofactor for a class of proteins called sirtuins, the master regulators of cellular stress response, metabolic adaptation, DNA repair, and mitochondrial biogenesis. Sirtuin activity directly depends on the availability of NAD+. When NAD+ is abundant, sirtuins are active, mitochondrial function is optimized, DNA repair is efficient, and the cell operates in a state of genuine metabolic health. When NAD+ is depleted, sirtuin activity falls, mitochondrial function degrades, and the cellular aging process accelerates. NAD+ levels are directly influenced by the redox state of the cell, the balance between oxidized and reduced forms of the molecule that reflects the overall oxidative burden the cell is managing. Chronic oxidative stress, generated by mitochondrial damage, cortisol elevation, and inflammatory signaling, depletes NAD+ by consuming it in cellular repair processes faster than it can be regenerated. Here is the connection to retention. The reduction in oxidative stress that falling cortisol produces during sustained retention, combined with the improved mitochondrial function that reduced damage and increased biogenesis create, reduces the NAD+ consumption burden and allows cellular NAD+ levels to recover toward their optimal range. Higher NAD+ means more sirtuin activity. More sirtuin activity means better mitochondrial quality control, better DNA repair, more efficient metabolic adaptation, and the downstream improvements in physical and cognitive performance that these cellular processes support. NAD+ supplementation, through compounds like NMN and NR, is currently one of the most aggressively marketed longevity interventions in the health optimization space, with price points reflecting its perceived value. What the retention conversation adds to this picture is the observation that one of the most powerful ways to improve the cellular NAD+ environment is to reduce the oxidative burden that depletes it, and that the hormonal and biochemical changes of sustained retention do precisely this through mechanisms that no supplement can replicate because they reach all the way to the root of the oxidative stress generation rather than simply supplementing around it. There is one final dimension of the mitochondrial retention story that I want to close with, because it connects the cellular biology to the subjective experience of aliveness in a way that brings everything full circle. Mitochondria are not merely energy producers. They are the cellular organelles most directly involved in the biology of vitality itself, in the cellular level experience of being genuinely alive rather than merely functional. The mitochondrial membrane potential, the electrochemical gradient across the inner mitochondrial membrane that drives ATP synthesis, is one of the most sensitive indicators of cellular health available to researchers. High membrane potential means the mitochondrion is functioning efficiently, producing ATP abundantly, and supporting the full range of cellular functions that depend on energy availability. Low or collapsed membrane potential means the mitochondrion is struggling, producing less ATP, generating more reactive oxygen species, and contributing to the cellular energy deficit that at the whole body level is experienced as fatigue, cognitive fog, physical limitation, and the peculiar gray quality of consciousness that characterizes chronic depletion. When practitioners of long-term semen retention describe the quality of their experience, the aliveness, the vividness, the sense that the world has become more real and more textured and more engaging than it was before, they are, in the most literal biological sense, describing the subjective experience of mitochondria operating at higher membrane potential, of cells producing more ATP, of every organ and every tissue receiving more of the energy currency it needs to express its full function. This is not poetry. This is the felt experience of cellular biology operating closer to its potential ceiling. And that ceiling, that genuine, deep cellular vitality that is the biological foundation of everything extraordinary a man is capable of, is waiting for the hormonal and biochemical environment that retention builds. The mitochondria are listening to the choices you make. They respond accordingly. I want to speak to you about something that has nothing to do with science and everything to do with what it feels like to be genuinely alive in your own body. You know the difference. You have felt both sides of it, even if you never had the cellular biology to explain what was changing between them. It is the difference between a city powered by a fully functional grid and a city running on aging, partially damaged infrastructure. The lights are on in both cases, but the quality of the power, the reliability of the supply, and the ceiling of what it can support are fundamentally different. Now here is where the connection between seminal fluid biochemistry and mitochondrial function becomes specific in a way that most people in this conversation have never explored. And I want to be precise about both what the evidence strongly supports and where we are working at the frontier of research rather than established consensus. Because intellectual honesty requires distinguishing between what is documented and what is compellingly inferred. What I am going to show you is a convergence of evidence that is genuinely extraordinary, even where direct causal proof is still being developed. Stay locked in. Seminal plasma is one of the most biochemically complex fluids the human body produces. You know the difference. You have felt both sides of it, even if you never had the cellular biology to explain what was changing between them. The days when the energy is real, when it does not run out, when it does not require coffee or willpower or the desperate hope that you can push through to the end of the day. The days when the body feels like a vehicle that is actually working properly, with more than enough fuel for everything the day demands, and then some. And the other days. The days that start already depleted, when the body feels like it is running on something borrowed and insufficient. When the mind searches for the sharpness it knows it should have and cannot find it. When the afternoon arrives with its familiar crash and the man who sat down to do something meaningful ends up doing nothing at all. Both of those experiences have cellular explanations. Both of them are produced by specific, measurable, modifiable biological conditions. Neither of them is fixed. Neither of them is inevitable. The mitochondria in your cells right now are waiting for the hormonal signal that tells them to build. The NAD+ in your cells is waiting for the oxidative burden to lift so it can restore the sirtuin activity that governs cellular vitality. The spermidine that your body produces is waiting to remain inside you long enough to drive the mitophagy that clears the old and makes way for the new. All of this is waiting for the practice, for the consistency, for the decision to stop expelling the biological raw material of cellular vitality and start building with it instead. The energy you are looking for is not outside you. It is inside every cell of your body, waiting for the conditions of its full expression. Build those conditions, and feel what happens when every cell you carry starts producing at the ceiling it was designed for. That is what vitality actually feels like. That is what you were built for. If this opened something for you today, if it gave you the cellular level explanation for something you have felt but never been able to fully account for, please give this video a like right now. It helps this reach the men who are ready to understand their biology at this depth. Share this with someone who is always tired, always slightly below their energy potential, always wondering why the vitality they know they should have seems perpetually out of reach. This video might give them the cellular explanation that changes everything. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep building this biological understanding together. Every video here is crafted with the same depth of research and commitment to the truth. And thank you, from the deepest place, for bringing your full intelligence and your full attention to this today. Your mitochondria noticed. Stay energized, stay building, stay cellular. See you in the next one.